Since my last top 5 roundup in 2022, we've seen wireless CarPlay adapters lose their attached cables and become the size of tiny USB thumb drives. They now integrate with in-car GPS systems, offer faster Wi-Fi generation specs, give smoother frame rates, and one even came with a full colour display. In this new top 5 roundup of wireless CarPlay adapters, I've pulled together 12 of the latest adapters that I also reviewed on this channel. I then made sure that they were running the latest update and retested each of their launch and Bluetooth connection timings on my new Cooper Born test vehicle. All of the previous top 5 adapters weren't as fast as these new adapters, and most of them simply aren't available anymore to buy. So with these new 12 new wireless adapters, I started to put them through my tests, where I looked at their Wi-Fi specs, I timed their boot up to launch screen, along with the time it takes to connect to them and launch CarPlay over Bluetooth. I also scored the adapters on whether they had any key features, such as GPS pass-through support, the quality of their launch screens, the number of configuration options, their availability, and finally their current price. Many of the 12 adapters featured a 4th generation Wi-Fi spec, whilst the remaining adapters offered a newer 5th and 6th generation Wi-Fi capability. Although the 4th generation Wi-Fi spec is sufficient for wireless Apple CarPlay, having a 5th or 6th generation Wi-Fi spec will improve general stability and in some cases general performance improvements in wireless Apple CarPlay. Boot up time into each adapter's launch screen varied between 14 seconds for the slowest and 8 seconds for the fastest adapter. Quite a lot of adapters booted in around 12 seconds, with just a few booting in under 10 seconds. Bluetooth pairing times were a little bit more consistent across the majority of the 12 wireless adapters. The slowest took 25 seconds and 6 seconds for the fastest. For a total boot time into wireless CarPlay, the majority of adapters were under 17 seconds. The fastest was 10 seconds and the slowest was as long as 35 seconds. 6 of the 12 adapters tested featured GPS pass-through support. 2 were unofficial confirmations, whilst the others were confirmed by the brand makers themselves. I tested GPS pass-through using the Apple Maps app, which was able to show the correct car direction while stationary, which also matched my car's navigation system direction. Other applications such as Google Maps and Waze simply don't display this extra GPS data at app launch. I found the majority of these wireless adapters use a similar software stack on chip, and as a result they share similar basic launch screens with little information on what Bluetooth profile to connect your iPhone to. There were a few adapters that had some extra detail added to their launch screens for increased guidance on the adapter's Bluetooth connection process instead of a simple blank menu screen. Half of the adapters tested had a basic IP config menu of options, which allowed for the ability to change the Wi-Fi channel, audio modes, delayed start, and some adapters incorrectly displayed the GPS pass-through option, although the hardware didn't support it. Only a couple of adapters tested offered a richer configuration, with a lot more options including some key must-have features, such as audio delay, display resolution, background mode, and forced display. And finally, I looked at each adapter's current price and availability. At this time of year, there are plenty of sales for these adapters, so the prices may appear different to you when you watch this video back, and this too could sway your own decision of which adapter to buy. The majority of these adapters were priced around the $40 mark. Another handful of adapters were around $60, and one adapter specifically costed as much as $80 at the time of recording. At the end of all these tests, I finally had my top 5 wireless Apple CarPlay adapters. Any of these 5 wireless CarPlay dongles is worth picking up. However, some adapters do things better than others, and they can also cost less than others too. So after totaling up my test scores, the top 3 finalists did share similar features, so they did come very close to each other. So let's dive into my top 5. In 5th place is the Playibox wireless adapter. This adapter was marked down the most out of all the remaining top 5 adapters due to its lack of GPS pass-through, a low amount of configuration options, and a basic launcher screen. It features a lower 4th generation Wi-Fi spec when compared to the top 3 adapters in this list. However, on the flip side, it was the fastest booting wireless CarPlay adapter I've ever tested. So if GPS pass-through isn't as important as boot speed, then with its low price, this adapter could be a top contender for you. In at 4th place is my most recently reviewed wireless CarPlay adapter, the StageSound Stage LinkFree wireless CarPlay adapter. Like with the 5th place adapter, this adapter comes with a 4th generation Wi-Fi spec, a basic boot up launch screen, and a basic configuration menu of options. Although its GPS pass-through wasn't officially confirmed, it did seem to lock my car's direction correctly at launch, and its option is available in its configuration menu. Overall, its cost does limit the adapter's overall appeal, especially when you compare to the next top 3 adapters that carry a much cheaper price tag. Sitting in the middle of this top 5 list is the mini wireless adapter from Bytewave, a sister brand of the popular performing QR code adapters. This adapter shares the same hardware as the adapter in second place. However, although the hardware may be the same, I found its performance to be slightly less optimized than its closest rival. It has a slightly better looking launcher menu, and its average performing boot up and pairing times position this adapter into the middle of my top 5. Although it may not be the most cheapest adapter, with its dual USB connector design, confirmed GPS pass-through, and a feature-rich configuration menu of options, this third place adapter is a good all-rounder. In second place is MMB's smallest wireless CarPlay adapter to date, and it's also the smallest wireless CarPlay adapter I've ever tested. However, if you have a USB-C CarPlay port, this adapter will no longer be as small, which makes the MMB Mini less versatile than the third place adapter from Bytewave, which shares the same hardware. It was the fastest to pair with my iPhone over Bluetooth. However, out of the 5 finalists, it was the second slowest to boot up into wireless CarPlay. Although I was told that the MMB Mini didn't have GPS pass-through, like the previous adapters that did, the MMB Mini managed to lock my car position and direction within Apple Maps. This adapter's current sale price is good value right now. It has the latest 6th generation Wi-Fi spec and has the same rich configuration menu, making this MMB Mini adapter a very close finalist to my first place adapter. And finally in first place, and the winner of my top 5 wireless CarPlay adapters, is the CarlinKit Mini 5 SE. CarlinKit has produced another winning adapter this year with their latest Mini 5 SE. It packs a lot of features and performance at an incredible price. This new 5th generation of their mini adapter has a completely different thumb drive shaped form factor that joins the rest of this year's finalists. Inside you'll find very similar specs to the previous 2 adapters in this roundup. With a 6th generation Wi-Fi spec, it was the third fastest to pair with my iPhone, and it is the only adapter to have a decent launch screen menu. Due to a slow boot up time though, it was one of the slowest out of the top 5 to boot wirelessly into Apple CarPlay. However, we are looking at mere seconds difference, but its overall value is bolstered by its low price and a confirmed GPS pass-through. It features one of the richest configurations, and with its versatile dual USB connector design, this adapter truly stands out amongst all the other adapters I've tested, becoming this year's winner of the best wireless Apple CarPlay adapter in 2024 and early 2025. Okay, that's it. I hope you found this roundup of the top 5 wireless Apple CarPlay dongles helpful. I'll leave links to each of these adapters in the description down below, along with my individual review of them, so you can learn more about each adapter, support the channel, and buy yourself one. Give us a thumbs up if you found this helpful, and do consider subscribing to the channel, as I have a few top 5 CarPlay adapter videos planned in the very near future. If you'd like to support the channel, you can give us a super thanks along with your comment or question, or check out the link down below and buy me a coffee. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.